could Barnes & Noble be coming to NMU?
Famous author Harper Lee passes away. Hi, I'm Amr Mansour.
And I'm Kevin Lau. Welcome to Public Eye News. Two Upper Peninsula eateries have garnered two of the top spots of the top 14 themed Michigan restaurants that will transform your dining experience. Rice Patty, located at 1720 Presque Isle in Marquette, features Thai cuisine. Rice Patty earned the 4th spot in the Michigan list, featured on the website onlyinyourstate.com. Coming in first on that list was Harbor House, a Bavarian restaurant in Copper Harbor. Barnes & Noble could be coming to Northern Michigan University's campus soon. A university community has unanimously selected to begin contract negotiations with the big box bookstore to take over operations of NMU's on-campus bookstore. Barnes & Noble College has proposed improvements to the space with potential growth in sales that can offer a greater financial return to the university. The company proposal also indicated that first consideration will be given to current employees for continued employment.
And the Ishpeming City Council has approved an improvement project on US 41. The renovations were voted in by the City Council and now be handled by the Michigan Department of Transportation. A private company called Lindbergh & Sons has also been hired to begin the full project. The entire renovation will cost $4 million, about half as less as was originally anticipated. Repairs are also expected to be made on the City Hall building and several other official sites. And the U.S. Coast Guard is urging people to use caution when venturing out into the Great Lakes. This weekend is expecting rain, high winds, and above freezing temperatures, but ice is expected to begin melting. Lake Superior and Lake Michigan were mentioned as specific regions to be careful of. The Coast Guard has already closed waterways near Mackinac Island and Beaver Avenue. They have also noted the ice bridges are not safe.
Something which has previously occurred only 10 times in 98 years is affecting the Straits of Mackinac in a positive way. Water levels usually decrease through the waterway at the end of the year into January. However, this year, Lake Huron and Lake Michigan have risen during the months of December and January for only the 11th time since 1919. The rise was caused by a record December rainfall and could mean higher levels during the summer months than last year. Michigan's premier national park has made the top of the national parks list. Isle Royale, located just 56 miles north of the Upper Peninsula, had the largest percentage increase in visitors of all national parks, with well over 18,000 visiting the 45-mile-long park in 2015. The Lake Superior Park offers 165 miles of trails, camping, scuba diving, kayaking, and canoeing. Isle Royale is closed during the winter months and will open to tourists on April 15th. After the break, we'll be back with your national and international news. Please stay tuned.
Coming up on Austin City Limits. I'm going out on the highway, listen to the big trucks whine. I'm going out on the highway, listen to them big trucks whine. Oh, white freight liner, won't you steal away my mind?
Tune in Saturday night at 11.
And welcome back. Many of us remember reading the classic novel To Kill a Mockingbird. Unfortunately, the author Harper Lee has passed away today at the age of 89. Lee passed away peacefully last night, but no details on her death have been released yet. Lee's children's novel has been read by millions, and its film adaptation even won an Oscar. To Kill a Mockingbird was first published in the 1960s during a time when the civil rights movement was growing. Her legacy will be remembered. And the body of Justice Scalia is lying in repose in the Great Hall of the U.S. Supreme Court, where Jay Jiang is in the court with more on the respects being paid to the conservative stalwart.
The sun had just started peaking above the Supreme Court when a group of interdenominational pastors kneeled to pray for the late Justice Antonin Scalia.
We came out this morning to be here to witness his last visit.
Scalia's casket arrived for the final visit. Following close behind were his children and his former law clerk serving as honorary pallbearers. Once inside, the current members of the court joined the family in a short service led by Scalia's son, Father Paul Scalia.
The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
After the ceremony, the public was allowed in to view the body. Emily Weatherspoon was the first person in line. The high school junior from North Carolina says she respected Scalia.
He's definitely someone who really stands up for what he believes in and sticks with what he thinks is right for our country.
President and Mrs. Obama are expected to arrive to the court sometime this afternoon to pay their respects, but they will not be attending the funeral tomorrow. The White House is sending Vice President Biden to represent the administration, saying he has a personal relationship with the Scalias.
We believe we have settled on an appropriate and respectful arrangement.
The private funeral will be held tomorrow at the Basilica of the National Shrine here in the nation's capital. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
In April of 2015, Freddie Gray of Baltimore died of a spinal injury while in police custody. It resulted in the indictment of 5 officers. Their trials are currently on hold as the court decides if Officer William Porter can testify under immunity against the other officers. In December, Porter's case ended in a mistrial, and he will see trial again on June 13th. Concern has arisen after he argued that the state cannot guarantee that his testimony wouldn't be used against him in his own trial. And it's down to the wire in South Carolina, where voters will line up at the polls tomorrow in a pivotal primary contest. The 6 Republicans left in the race for president are scrambling for the last-minute support. Craig Boswell reports from Columbia, South Carolina.
For a religious leader to question a person's faith is disgraceful.
Donald Trump's war of words with Pope Francis seemed to soften a bit at a town hall Thursday night.
Oh, the Pope is a wonderful guy.
That spat with the leader of 1.2 billion Catholics made headlines around the world after the Pope criticized Trump's focus on building walls as not Christian. Trump and his 5 rivals for the Republican nomination are crisscrossing the Palmetto State for one last day before voters head to the polls.
South Carolina and Texas share a tradition of fighting for freedom with everything in us.
We want to do for America what your governor and your legislature has done for South Carolina.
Marco Rubio has 5 rallies today, the first one here in Columbia, where some voters are waiting until the last minute to decide.
I think a lot of people will make up their mind tomorrow morning. I frankly do.
There could be some surprises tomorrow.
It could be.
And in the midst of the scramble for votes, this moving moment at a town hall in Clemson Thursday.
And I was in a really dark place for a long time. I was pretty depressed.
A young Kasich supporter spoke of job loss and divorce in his family.
And I'd really appreciate one of those hugs you've been talking about.
The polls open early Saturday morning. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Columbia, South Carolina.
And 41 people have been killed in a U.S. airstrike which was targeting terrorists in Libya. The American warplanes hit an ISIS camp in Sabratha today, and the death toll has been confirmed by the city council's website. The death toll number is expected to still rise as more bodies are found in the burning rubble. One target for the American forces was a senior ISIS operative who was involved in the Tunisia attacks last year. The airstrikes are expected to continue in Libya. And the Pope has suggested that contraceptives can be used to slow down the spread of the Zika virus. This comes as a surprise considering the Catholic Church's long stance against most forms of birth control. While his comments may help Latin American health officials, this may upset conservative Catholics. The Pope said that while abortion is absolute evil, avoiding pregnancy is not. And after the break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
On Masterpiece. You push in here into my home in order to call me a grubby little gold digger. You've got a nerve.
I wouldn't like to see this family dragged into a local brouhaha.
It means me.
What would they say if they found out that I was a servant at the big house? What would their parents say?
Nobody has ever been as rude to me as your son. Why in God's name would he want me at his wedding?
I'm not as simple as I used to be. My life is not as simple.
Downton Abbey on Masterpiece.
Watch Sunday evening at 9 Eastern.
Increase in temperature at campus is experiencing a pretty wet day. Currently, it is cloudy with a temperature of 41 degrees and winds blowing south-southeast at 12 miles per hour and the barometric pressure at 29.18 inches and falling. Tonight, we will be seeing some rain with a low of 35 degrees and winds blowing west at 19 miles per hour. Tomorrow, it will be cloudy again with a high of 39 degrees and winds blowing west-northwest at 11 miles per hour. Looking across the UP, it is cloudy just about everywhere except where we're seeing a little bit of rain in Ironwood. But looking at Sault Ste. Marie, it is 36 degrees. In Manistique, it is 36 degrees. In Escanaba, it's 41 degrees. And down in Menominee, it's 39 degrees. Over in Iron Mountain, it's 38 degrees. In Ironwood, it's 35 degrees. 41 degrees. Looking ahead, on Sunday, we will see a high of 27, a low of 12, and cloudy skies. On Monday, we will see a high of 31, a low of 19, and partly cloudy skies. And on Tuesday, we will see a high of 39, a low of 22, and cloudy skies. So the weather's looking really good right now, but I heard, unfortunately, Detroit Lions are losing a top player.
Yeah, John. At this point in the year, a lot of teams are dropping their seasoned veterans, and the Lions are just one of those teams right now.
That's a shame.
It is a shame. Let me tell you about it. Stephen Tulloch has apparently played his last days in Detroit. The Lions' now former linebacker posted a message on Instagram thanking the Ford family and the fans for 5 years of some of the greatest memories of his career. Tulloch has played for the Lions since 2011 and started in 66 of the 67 games he played in the Lions uniform. Last season, he started in 15 games and 74 tackles and had 2 forced fumbles. He sat out for most of the 2014 season, after tearing his ACL during a celebration. Tulloch might not be the only casualty under new GM Bob Quinn, as it's been reported that veteran safety James Ahedebo won't be back for Detroit either. It appears as if the Lions are opting for a younger squad as they're slowly knocking off seasoned players this offseason. And major moves will wait for the summer regarding trades in the NBA, when the soaring salary cap and strong free agent class could provide the fireworks that never materialized after the trade deadline this week. Washington and most of the other teams battling for a spot at the bottom of the Eastern Conference race may have improved, including the Wizards' contraction of Markieff Morris from Phoenix. All deals had to be approved by the NBA league office, which was still completing the process a few hours after the deadline. Several teams made small trades, but it's teams like Washington that will benefit the most as they look to make the push with more help from rising stars. And a Major League Baseball agent, Bart Hernandez, was arrested Friday morning after a federal grand jury indicted him on human trafficking charges related to the smuggling of Seattle Mariners outfielder Leonys Martin into the United States from Cuba. The sealed indictment filed in a Florida federal court February 12th alleges that Hernandez conspired with smugglers to bring Martin to the United States in August 2010. If convicted of conspiracy and financial gain charges, Hernandez faces up to 20 years in prison with a minimum sentence of 3 years. According to Martin's lawsuit, Hernandez held him and his family hostage while negotiating his contract with another man who is currently serving 14 years for Medicare fraud. So, Amir, human trafficking, stealing technology, kind of goes hand in hand, but at the same time it kind of doesn't. But tell me what you got.
Yeah, I'll tell you more about it, Eric.
Okay.
Well, if you're going to steal a Kindle, at least be smart about it. A stolen Kindle was found after thieves had taken selfies on it and uploaded the pictures to a cloud-based server. The clever thieves were arrested and the Kindle was returned to its owner. And watch out for those wild turkeys. A New Jersey mailman was trapped in his truck when 2 wild turkeys started going at it. The terrified mailman called the police, who were able to break up the turkey fight. So if you're in New Jersey, watch out for those wild turkeys on the road.
That's a pretty wild story. But thank you for tuning into Public Eye News today. We will be back on Monday, and you enjoy your weekend.
preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.